you're watching Cole the Corn Star. If you're even slightly interested in farming or just want to watch a 26-year-old farmer get some stuff done, you're in the right place. All right, Cooper, what are we doing today?
Well, I just went and got Critchfield's trailer. We got to haul a bunch of junk. We got all that fence we got to haul. And then our bush farm, there's a bunch of junk on that fence line we got to haul out. And there's stuff down at Dad's house we got to haul. We're gonna load all that stuff up and get out of here. And yeah.
So Cooper and Zach are gonna be working on that. Dad, Roman, and I are going into town. We gotta fix Grandma Judy's tire on her car, and then Roman and I are gonna go to Menards. We gotta pick up some supplies. Hey, Roman, pause off the cupcakes.
Hey. You just go there.
All right, what do we got here? Looks like we got a low back left. Still on the bead?
Well, that's a good sign. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
Hi!
Hey, good morning.
Her mother's seen it and said it's a very popular book.
Book.
You're gonna have to get a new car, Grandma. It's got a flat tire.
I can give you $500 today.
For my car?
Yeah.
That's a good buy.
Let me shut this door.
I installed it.
You're gonna let the mice in. You better shut your door.
I know, I am petrified of mice.
Yeah, it looks like a little slice of something right here.
Okay.
When they changed the oil and stuff, you found a little bolt in it.
All the tire shops were closed on Grandma, so she didn't know where to take her tire to. Our local tire shop was open, so we needed to come into town to go to Menards anyway to get supplies for the heated sheds. That way we can get all the venting material to go outside, as well as all the clean air intake stuff to come in. I just ran over the curb behind me. And so we just knocked out 2 stones with 1 bird and picked up the tire at the same time. Save big money at Menards.
Do you get paid to say it?
Menards does not pay me, unfortunately. Roman, do you know what we're supposed to be getting?
No, you told me we'll figure out here.
I was kind of relying on you for that one.
You're the boss, right? You told me what to do.
Well, let's just go walk around. We'll find stuff as we go. Menards parking lot smell. I honestly can't smell anything. I needed to do something to chase people off my front porch with. Man, that thing's got some girth to it. Wow.
Keep it under the front seat.
Yeah. So on the clean air coming into the furnace, we need to suck in cold air from the outside. We don't want birds to get into it, so we need to make sure we got a vent. This is a 5-inch. I need a 4-inch. Oh, here we go. 4-inch. I don't see one like this though. Where did I get this one from?
Didn't you say it's gonna be PVC?
Yes, I did say it's going to be PVC.
I didn't know if you changed your mind in 1 minute or something.
So how do we get this to connect to PVC well? Does the PVC go on the inside and then we get a band that goes around this?
Duct tape.
The HVAC guy told me I needed heavy gauge. Whatever heavy gauge is. I take it that's B-venting?
Venting?
Yeah, I'll show you. He made me a video.
You're gonna need about 14 feet of heavy gauge.
We're getting stuff figured out, but I think we're at a bit of a crossroads. We need to find Eric.
Eric!
They sell this stuff in stores? Are you kidding me?
Are you interested?
The only thing I don't know is how much B-vent we have for going through the wall. We're kind of guessing because I didn't measure. $658 later, I think we're good to go. Hopefully. Okay, on the way back home, we have to go look at a cemetery to find some stones. We have a cremation coming up on Sunday, I guess. We made it out of the store just fine. Now I gotta go back to Grandma Judy's house. I guess she's got some shelves that she wants us to get rid of for her.
Okay, I just gotta make sure I got mice.
Oh, there's a mouse.
What? You're
What's this
kidding.
thing?
I am kidding, so don't worry.
Oh, look at the dust.
That's gross. Okay, now it's like 2 o'clock now. We're gonna go back to the heated shop. We're gonna try to get the exhaust going out of the building and the cold air intake coming in. And then we'll be done with that project. On the way back home, we're passing by the cemetery. Dad sent me some information on where this grave is. What does it look like? Okay, we have a picture. So we are looking for this. Whatever that is, we gotta find it. Well, I'm just seeing if this is a real thing. Normally we don't find stones this easy, but I think this is the one. Looks a little bit different than the picture. It's got a little bit of moss growing on it. So we're gonna have a cremation here somewhere. It's either probably this particular lot right here, where there's nothing, or it could be over there. I'm not really sure. Every cemetery we dig at is completely different. And the ones that are really fun is when they made the plot for the cemetery in like 1850, and then they went to go put it in the oven to basically de-germize it or whatever, so that way it lasts longer, and then it got a little too hot in the oven and burned up. Those are the fun ones. And we have some like that. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but I've heard that these ones that are made out of cast, or these are steel, whatever they are, but some of them have little knobs in the side of them. And apparently during the Prohibition, they set up some around cemeteries that it wasn't actually for a person being buried, it's just a blank stone. But then they take these knobs apart and there's a hidden cavity inside there, then that's where they would make exchanges during Prohibition. So, kind of interesting. If you're not familiar with Prohibition, between 1920 and 1933, it was illegal to make and sell alcohol in the United States of America. So bootleggers would make it, like way back in the boonies, and then they would sell it throughout to different people and communities and stuff. So cemeteries, I guess, were a pickup spot. At least that's what I've heard. I don't know if that's true, but it would make perfect sense to me. Usually when we're at this cemetery, the weather is nasty. It's always super wet, cold, windy, snowy, frozen. Oh my goodness, that was a bump. Well, Roman and I were in Menards. Cooper and Zach got started here on the bush farm. We had a whole row of junk metal sitting out here that's been sitting here for like 16 years or however long we've owned the farm. The guy who owned the farm before said that he wanted it. We waited 16 years, he never came and got it, so we just determined he didn't want it anymore. We brought it in, it took the whole entire semi-load. Cooper just took it to the scrap yard, and we just gotta kind of walk through it now, pick up some little itty bitty final stuff, but that looks so much different. And while we got the metal trailer rented from the scrap guys, we're here behind the main heated shop. Zach and Cooper are gonna pick up all this next. And so the goal is to have none of this here. They're also gonna try to get a dumpster down here instead of having a burn pile. So then we're just gonna have yard, going into field, no more pile of mess. It's all gonna be clean and nice. That's the goal anyway. Okay, black zip ties. I'll just run longer ones, and then if I need to cut them, I will. All right, Roman, you ready to see what we can do inside that shed?
We're gonna get it done. Because I need to leave at 5, so I have time till 5 o'clock to get it done.
It's like 2:30.
Right now?
Yeah.
3:30.
Oh.
No?
Okay, let's get to work. Hey. Let's get this exhaust hooked up first so we can at least have heat on in here. So somebody made a comment saying that the top of this lift can actually telescope out. I think it does. I did not know that. My question is, how do you move that? Holy crap! What? Has been able to do this whole time? We're gonna take one 5-footer and slap it against another 5-footer, so we'll have 10 feet of B venting, which is this stuff. So that'll take us a foot from the wall, and we have to penetrate the wall, and then we want a little bit sticking out on the other side. So we're gonna have 2 5-foot pieces and a 3-foot piece, and I think we just gotta drill our hole in the wall, get everything pushed in, and then hang it up so that way it's supported by the ceiling, and then we're good to go. This stuff just locks into place. It's got a system of little teeth and stuff at the end, and this is dual walled, so even when this is hot, if you touch it, it's not gonna be hot, because the little bit of dual wall between has air in there and it acts as insulation. Same way you can grab a styrofoam cup when it's full of hot coffee and it doesn't burn your hand. Exact same thing applying here. I've learned if you wear a hat with a little pom-pom on the top, it works perfect as a headstand holder. So in this case right here, I'm holding the pipe at the exact level that it needs to be at. It's not hurting the top of my head at all. Just imagine if I was wearing a baseball cap right now with that little button right there, I'd be in excruciating pain, but I'm sitting in comfort right now. Here we go. We got it going from the tube heater. We're just missing the back thing right here right now. That's why it looks so naked right here. But then it goes into the B vents, and now this is all venting going out the building. We have fall built into this, and so now we're trying to figure out where we need to drill our hole to actually go through the wall. We're thinking like right here.
Who's gonna ruin the wall, you or me? Who gets
I'll let
the
you do
blame?
it, then I can blame you for it later.
All right. Remember, I asked. I offered. Put the safety glasses on.
Oh yeah. I got everybody. There we go.
Didn't expect so much resistance.
Hey, how are we gonna get that out from behind the wall now?
Long magnet. That's the project is coming.
Look real close. Roman's drilling through right there. It's gonna be perfect. Good job, Roman! Whoa! We got the hole there, so now Roman's just gotta go out to the other side, and he's gonna use the 10 snips to finish cutting out that hole. So we're going from tube heater, we got B vent, everything through. We got it thimbled up through the wall. Then Roman's playing Spider-Man out there. And then we'll have the end piece on there that's sitting right underneath of his feet. Right there. Okay, now we just gotta put that thing up there, and then it doesn't look too bad. We gotta kind of smack that B vent a little bit though to get it to straighten out, but it's not terrible. Roman, I don't think that's safe operating procedure. There you go, that's more safe. Hey, where were you with the airbag? You were supposed to catch him.
That's over here. I took a box and then put a little plastic in there full of air so that if Roman slips, I can catch him.
Our B venting is not transitioning onto the tube heater, maybe the way we kind of thought it would, so just for extra precaution, I'm gonna throw a hose clamp on there. That'll tighten down good, and we'll know it won't be able to move or leak. I think Dad grabbed the dirtiest one there.
All right?
Yeah, no, it looks good. All right, moment of truth. Let's see if it works.
Because, you know, that's...
So I ended up running the tube heater for about an hour last night, and I climbed up there with the lift and I did some inspecting. And while I was inspecting, I noticed a little issue. So this is the B-vent material that we're using to come out of the end of the tube heater, and then this is venting all the hot gases outside. Well, it's got like these lock and groove type of seams on them, and Roman and I were putting them together and turning them. We got it to where they wouldn't pull out, but it just didn't feel like our connection was all that great. So I was specifically inspecting around those seams, and I could feel gas coming out of them. I could feel air. It felt like just a little breeze coming on my hand, a nice hot breeze. So Roman and I are gonna go up there. We're gonna pull everything apart again. We're gonna kind of reconfigure things together. And then I was reading through the owner's manual, and I discovered something we did not do. Number one, the manual says we need to take 3 screws and then screw them evenly throughout the seams on the B-vent to hold them together. And then once we have everything screwed, we have our high temperature silicone sealant. We need to go around all the seams and do a 1/4-inch bead around everything. So while it's not ideal from a time efficiency perspective, Roman and I are gonna climb up there. We're gonna pull everything apart. We're gonna re-put it all back together. We just wanna make sure that the shop is venting outside the way that it's supposed to. We don't want those gases venting into here because that is not good for us, and it could be deadly if it builds up enough. So we just wanna make sure everything is gonna be going outside, and then we're gonna be doing all the soap testing and everything. We're following the instructions to a T and what it says to do. We just wanna make sure it's done right. Roman's on the other side. He's gonna be pulling this thimble apart right now, and we're just gonna get everything open so we're gonna be able to see our nice hole through the wall. We'll pull this tube through. We just wanna make sure that these seams are right. This one looks pretty good. I feel like we got a pretty even seal all the way around, but this middle one is where I feel like we're not quite in right. We have a pretty good seal on this side. This gap is pretty even right here, but when we come around to the other side, it seems like it's definitely pulled apart just a little bit more than I would like to see. I just don't feel like we're locked in quite right. While I was doing my manual studies last night, I discovered we need 1 inch of clearance from combustible materials. Now that is for the B-vent material, that's the pipe that was just sticking through the wall. We have a thimble on the inside of the wall, which is supposed to be a 1 inch clearance, but then I was reading on the thimble and then they still recommended around that. Now I was touching the thimble last night, it wasn't hot at all. Like I could put my finger on it and it barely even felt warm, where the B-vent pipe I could not touch for more than a half a second because it was hot. So, I mean, I know it's working, I just don't want to have something catch on fire that's not supposed to. So we're just gonna go in and just shave just a little bit around some of this foam in here. We already got a fairly good gap, but we're just gonna get a little bit more. See how that side's so much tighter than this side? Or maybe that's just our lack of having it straight. And then now we should screw it.
Yeah, I would keep it straight and screw it and not really rely on those clips which were still in it.
Hello.
How you doing, Shannon? Can you fill this thing up with LP? This is Shannon. He's our LP guy. He's the one who brings gas out to the dryer so we can dry our corn, and he brings all the gas to all the buildings so that way we can have heat. This lift belongs to Wade the electrician, and it came out with a full tank of LP on it. We've been running it quite a bit because the choke's broken. We have to leave it running the whole time. We basically burned through an entire tank of LP. Shannon's here filling my house up with LP right now, and I asked him if he could just bring his truck over, hook up to this tank and fill it, but apparently he doesn't have the right connector on his truck, so we're gonna have to bring this to a shop at some point. That way we can get it filled up. I don't want to be at the top of this lift when it's all the way up when we run out of LP. That would not be very fun. This is the thimble that goes through the wall. We want it to sit flush to the wall so we can get silicone behind it. I'm struggling with these scissors. See, they don't make left-handed scissors.
Oh, these are left-handed actually.
I know, that's why I grabbed them. I grabbed the green ones. Green for left. Not working. We're trying to get this to sit as flush as we can to the wall. So we're cutting these little tabs off so that way it'll sit right between the ribs and the tin. Look at that, it's perfectly cut. You couldn't have done that better if you had a machine.
But you are a machine.
That's true. Look at that. It sits right between the ribs. Then we're gonna run silicone on the back side of this so that way it just seals any draft that could get behind there. And then we're gonna have a rain cover that'll go over the front of this so then it'll be round and you won't even see that. Good?
I think so. Worst case scenario, we can add more.
Good enough for who it's for. Oh. Then this thing's gonna go on right over the top just like that, and it'll make everything look all nice and pretty, kind of. This B-vent's just made out of aluminum, really light, easy to bend. It literally feels like a pop can that we're dealing with. And so when we were putting it onto the tube heater, which is steel, it caught a little burr and it folded it back and it tore down the side of the pop can. So we had come in with snips, cut out that little piece. It's kind of compromising this piece a little bit, but we're still gonna have a solid 2 inches of really good connection, and we'll be able to get a hose clamp on the inside of that. So I think we'll still be okay because we have 4 inches to work with here. So the cutout piece is gonna be like here, so we're still gonna have all this good connection. And we're just gonna hook it up, get everything siliconed, and we'll let everything cure. We'll turn it on later, and we'll come up with a spray bottle with soapy water, and we'll spray it on all these connections. If we see air bubbling up out of that, we're probably gonna have to replace this piece. If we don't, we should be good. The owner's manual does not say to put a hose clamp on it, or at least not what I've read. So I'm adding one on just for the fact that if this wiggles at all for whatever reason, then we at least have something holding it. Otherwise, we're just gonna have silicone. It sits in there really tight, but this is just making me feel a little bit better, and I don't see how it could hurt anything. We're gonna put a garage door opener in over here, so that way we can have one on both sides of the door. I'm just thinking, well, we got the lift here, we might as well try to get a piece of conduit up, mount it to the wall. So it looks something kind of like this. We'll need to make it a little longer. I want it to go down to here. I'm mounting the door openers and the light switches fairly low in the shop, so that way the kids can come in and open and close them. Because otherwise, if they're too high up, I don't want them to have to climb up on a stool or get a stick or something to be able to turn it off or on, rather than be able to do it with their hand. And also, it never fails when you have something in your hand, and let's say we're over here and just want to press it quick. This is the perfect holding height. This conduit running stuff feels like such a slow job, but it's time consuming and it's important. It needs to be done so we can move on to the next project. I'm tired of hopping from one project to another without actually finishing it, unless we're waiting for new materials to come in. So in this case, we're just biting the bullet. We're getting this stuff done, getting the door openers hooked up. And I get this actually ran down, so now when we come in with a tall piece of equipment, we don't have to worry about ripping the garage door opener wire off of the wall. We're just getting her done. I have no idea how my grandfather wired up the inside of this particular switch. We got all these wires sticking through, coming in on that white cord there. No idea. I mean, they're just extras in there. And then we have a green there. We got another green up there. Everything's got a duplicate. So the orange right there, and we got another orange up there. I have no idea what's going on there. We're getting rid of this white cord. We're just going to use a cord that's got 4 individual wires in it instead of 8. Now, it's been a couple years since I've wired 2 door openers together. I know we cannot do it in parallel, so I think I got a diagram made up. We got our open, we got our close. Those are pretty self-explanatory. They all connect to each other. We're just going to have this weird common wire going through. I'm not really sure how that's going to work. But the beautiful thing about not knowing how things is going to work is we're going to figure it out. Roman said he's getting cold and that he needs to do 30 push-ups in order to warm up. So I guess we're doing 30 push-ups. Come on, Roman.
Oh, I thought you were doing.
No, you're doing them too with me.
I just ate and then drank
This is excuses.
8 ounces.
I haven't eaten anything, so I don't have fuel.
So you should.
I'm running on an empty tank. You have a full tank, empty tank. Let's go. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 27, 28, 29, 30. Good job. Oh, we need to make some room to get the lift in here so that way we can finish running this conduit for the door opener wire. And we don't have to worry about the hangy anymore. We have eliminated the drop cord coming down for the door opener. That looks good. Good job, Roman. So my grandpa put these little hole eyelet things in here, which is actually pretty slick to put these in. It's a lot better than trying to wedge a wire behind. So thank you, Grandpa. The beautiful thing about electricity is as long as we don't get shocked or anything like that, worst case scenario is we're just gonna fry an expensive box or something else, then we'll just pull out the wire, we'll buy a new box, and we'll just do it again. Okay, what do we want as the stop? Let's go yellow.
Yellow, yeah.
Yellow is stop. I should say I have had some formal electricity training. In high school, I took an electricity class. So we wired up a couple light switches and outlets, so I think that makes me qualified. Okay, what do we want as, I think the green one was the close. If I can get this one to take, there we go. We should have it all wired up inside this box. We shouldn't need to do anything in here anymore. Sweet. Oh.
Sorry.
Where'd you get that dent in your face, Cole? No, little potty break, or not a potty break, what are we gonna call this? Pit stop. Hey Roman, do you want some Buc-ee's, Nuggies, bold and spicy?
Yeah.
Your door
You don't even have to.
Steer, Ellie, steer.
Come on, Roman, get the door shut. Gee, slam it hard enough.
I told you I'm weak. You want some? You want some, my boy?
What do you think?
Ellie's looking things over.
Maybe Ellie wants some?
See if you try
Hey, you can't feel like the wild animals.
That's right, she's not wild.
Grandma's car is done. Looks like we got some new tires. Gotta be careful when we're driving around in the big city. A lot of traffic around here. All right, we're good on car tires. That's all good to go for Grandma now. We're gonna finally get this stinking shed wired up. No more wires hanging down, all conduit. And I'm about tripping here. Okay, I think we got plenty now. We got conduit coming out of the door opener. It's running down, so we got garage door opener 1 right there, and we got garage door opener number 2 right there. Let's see if this works. First step, are we gonna blow the breaker right away? So far, so good. This is the true test. It opens. Now does it stop? Nope, we got something wrong. Whoa! That didn't work out very good. That was almost really bad, actually. How do I close this door? We got some. Maybe my door sensors aren't aligned. They're flashing. That's probably what it is. I climbed up there, switched 2 wires around. Let's try this again. Up. Okay, stop works. Now we just gotta get the sensors aligned for the close. We got it right now. Perfect. This should go down here. There we go. We got it. Try this side, make sure it works. Okay, we're good. Perfect. Should go down here in a second. Beautiful. Okay, how do we align those sensors? I don't know. Mine must have got bumped just right. Wait, the light's solid. Did that fix it? No way, that worked? Here we go. Stop, down. Look at that. Make fun of it if you want to, but setting this up here was actually extremely useful for me wiring everything up there. All right, we got garage door openers hooked up. These are all ready to go. I cannot believe these things are working right now. This is incredible. This building was built in 2005, and we have never had it where we've actually had electricity fully functional here, other than if you had a drop cord draping off one of the rafters or running down the side of the building. Our door opener was no different. It was just a cord and it would just drape down, and if you moved tall stuff in, you had to move it out of the way in order to get it underneath. Well, no more. Not only do we have the wires tucked away, now we have a second garage door opener. So for on this side, we can open it. We don't have to walk all the way across. Just think about how many steps we're gonna be saving. Roman and I got that all pulled down. Everything is put back together. We got everything siliconed up. We're supposed to wait 24 hours for that to fully cure, and then we'll be able to fire it up. Then we'll be able to do our spray test with the soapy water and see if anything is leaking any air. But it looks so much better than it did before. Now, last but not least, we need to take this 4-inch PVC piping. We need to drill our hole in the wall, then run our clean air intake from outside up over into the tube heater. We need to get that gas line fastened a little bit better to the ceiling. We need to take the bottom of our light switches off, take this big blocky cover off, just put a single one on. We need to put a different light switch on, get the covers on. Then we need to take a strip of conduit just like we have for these outlets on this side, and we're gonna run the identical thing along the other wall. And then we have one little baby cover we need to put right there on the reflector plate. Once we get those last few things done, every single little bit of electricity and conduit inside this building is going to be done. But take that back. We have to get 220 volt electricity. We'll probably run that up high, and we also need to run electricity over to the air compressor. So let me rephrase that. All the small little tiny wiring stuff for common plugs, outlets, lights, light switches, that kind of thing, all of that is going to be 100% done. Speaking of 100% done, I'm tired. That's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.